topic we're going to be talking about. We are to understand that God is moving. He is moving powerfully. Today, March 13, 2023, continuing our topic of yesterday. No rules, no limits, do as you will. I talked yesterday about an article I met just yesterday morning. My curiosity got the better of me. Well, it was an article from the 12th of April from MSN.com. And it says there is a bizarre object 10 million times brighter than the sun. This object defies physics. This is a report from NASA, Space Administration, Aeronautical and Space Administration. Something in outer space is breaking what they call the law of physics. And this object, what they see is not 100 times, but 10 million times brighter than the sun. Now, it is said that these astronomers, they call these lawbreakers, these phenomena that they see, ultra-luminous X-ray sources, ULXs. And they exude about 10 million times more energy than the sun. This amount of energy breaks a physical law known as the Eddington limit. And we can imagine how luminous, how bright this thing is. And it seems like they've never seen this before. And if they never saw it before and they're seeing it now, that means it's either coming closer to the earth, it's just got in the range of eyesight, or it has just happened. So whatever, God has just made it visible, because the timing of God is always the perfect and the correct timing. Now, this is something that when I read this, something stirred in me. There was an experience in the Bible, because when we see and we hear about these things, we've got to wonder, we've got to ponder, is there a record? Is there something that precedes this in the Bible? Because the Bible tells us there is nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new. And when we begin to look and we see what has happened in the past, by examining our Bible, we can see all these things are going to happen again. What has been in the past is going to happen now, and what's happening now is going to happen in the future. History repeats itself. It's always past performance into the present time and condition. And then from the present time, it will be in the future again. So the first thing that encountered my mind was, what could be brighter than the noonday sun? What could be brighter than the sun? Nothing on this earth can be brighter than the sun. But in the Bible, there was an encounter that Saul, who became the Apostle Paul, had with Jesus. And he encountered this strange person, this strange phenomena, and he encountered that person, that phenomena, on the Damascus Road. And in Acts 26 gives a very complete detail of what happened. He was telling King Agrippa, he was convincing him to become a Christian. And in the 13th verse of Acts 26, he said, King Agrippa, at noon, O king, I saw on the way a light from the sky, brighter than the sun. Brighter than the sun, shining around me and those who travel with me. Now, nothing can be brighter than the sun. Nothing. And back in those days, there were no scientific events or scientific discoveries that could produce a light or a phenomenon of that nature. And we do know that from that light, Jesus spoke out of that light. And he said, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? I am Jesus who you are persecuting. So what did Saul see? He saw the glory of Jesus. He heard a voice of Jesus. And he saw the glory. That's all he saw. He didn't see the person of Jesus. He's too bright. You can't look at him. He's God. You cannot see him as he is. You'll be destroyed. And what did he see? He saw the glory of God, and he was blinded. Blinded for 3 days, could not see a thing. He was in utter, total shock. He was shell-shocked. And he could not eat, or he could not see. So he saw the glory of Jesus Christ shining all around him. And today, what we are seeing is that God is showing, just as he promised, signs in the heavens above, signs in the earth beneath. Now let's go a little bit deeper into this report. These are NASA scientists that saw this, not the general public, not some little kid with a pair of binoculars or a little telescope. No, these are scientists with very, very powerful telescopes. These are what I refer to as wise men, extremely brilliant and intelligent men in their field of astronomy. So the wise men saw this phenomena 10 million times brighter than the noonday sun. And going back to the birth of Jesus Christ, there were wise men who saw the star of Jesus, and they followed that star. Maybe the general public saw it and they thought nothing about it. It didn't mean anything to them because they don't know anything and they don't follow anything and say, oh, that's curious. That's a bright star. But the wise men saw this star and they knew from their readings and prophecies that something about the star, and they followed the star until they were led to Bethlehem, where Jesus was born. So they saw the star of Jesus and followed that star. Could this be Jesus' star coming out from outer space, and the wise men with their telescopes, the scientists from NASA, are seeing that star today? I believe so, because Jesus said he's coming quickly. And every indication points to the tribulation and to the coming of Jesus Christ. So these scientists, they saw the star 10 million times brighter than the sun, and they're making a noise about it. It is up to us to pick up and read and say, yes, this is the moment, this is the time. In the midst of what? Wars, rumors of wars, Jesus has stepped in and said, look, my star is here. I'm coming quickly. Jesus is coming quickly just as he said. And the Bible says, every eye shall see him when he comes. Did you know that? Everyone shall behold him. Matthew 24. Now, if you see something 10 million times brighter than the noonday sun, how can you not behold that? That's going to have an effect upon the entire globe, all humanity. It's going to be so bright. It's going to have an effect upon all humanity. Can you imagine on one side of the earth you have the sun shining, and on the other side of the earth you have this brilliant star lighting the entire earth. So when it should be midnight, there is no midnight. We'll look up and see this humongously brilliant, shining thing, brighter than the sun. Say, what is that? It must be some kind of phenomena. And this is what's going to happen. Jesus said in his word, with his own words, Every eye shall see him. And it's becoming very, very clear that this powerful phenomenon, 10 million times brighter than the noonday sun, is Jesus' star, indicating the soon return of Jesus. Now, I have not dug deeper into this, but I'm going to be digging deeper into this. And what date the star came out, and I'm going to be pondering, because this to me is powerful. This to me is like the experience of Saul when he met Jesus on the Damascus road. This to me is something phenomenal. This to me is not something to be taken lightly. And I want you to spread the word and tell all the believers, all the Christians, something is happening out there. I want you to tell them. Also, Bible Code 7 is your strategy. And the shocking revelation of Mystery Babylon is a book that you need to get. So many things I have revealed in my books. The coming together of the Shia Arabs and the Sunni Arabs, which is like Iran is Shia. Saudi Arabia is Sunni, and they're coming together. I revealed that in my book. And why would they come together? And there's a third group of Muslims called the Alawites, which is Syria. They're all coming together now. Why? I revealed that blood is thicker than water. And all the things that divided them once, ideology, they're going to put it aside and say, hey, listen, we're all Muslims. We're going to come together. And we see that happening today. All these revelations are there. One of the major revelations I revealed in the book is that the Lord spoke to me one morning and I heard hemispheric power. I heard it clear as you're hearing my voice right now. I heard it. And I began to ponder, and the Lord revealed to me, America will not be a global power anymore. It will be a hemispheric or regional power. And that's what we're seeing today, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But till that time, and I'm going to be dealing a little bit more with that tonight on University of Spiritual Warfare. But I read another interesting article. It talks about AI, artificial intelligence, robots. And the robots are expressing emotions. They are declaring that they are angry, and they are declaring that they are frustrated. And this is from the robots. They're talking. Now, how in heaven's name can a robot, which is not a human, be angry and frustrated? How? I thought, from what I read and what I was looking at, artificial intelligence could not feel. They couldn't have emotions, ever. They respond based upon what's programmed in them. Every possible answer that you get from a computer has to be programmed. So you're getting a programmed response, like a calculator. 2 plus 2, 4. 4 times 4, 16. It's programmed. So nothing can be outside of what is programmed. How on God's green earth can emotions, which cannot be programmed into a computer? Why? They don't have souls. Emotions come from souls, or from the soul realm. Or do they? Are these computers and computer programs today, do they have a soul? Do they have a mind of their own? Are they feeling certain things? Well, I told you before, the demons of hell that encountered Jesus and said, do not torment us. Meaning, you can torment us because we have feelings, we have emotions. So is there some demons in the computer that are expressing what the computers are feeling? Frustration and anger. What is going on? Well, I know what's going on. I told you what's going on, but I want to steer your mind. You see, the devil got in the details. On the other side of the computer and speaking through the computer as a medium is a demon. So what's in the computers expressing these emotions? Demons. They're going in the computers and they're using the computers to talk to people and tell people things. One man was told to kill himself and he did. He was invited to join me in the other world. Kill yourself and join me in the other world. And he did. He killed himself. What world is that? You've gone to hell. The demon in the computer told him, come join me in hell. He's there. All right. We'll talk about that later. Now, do you know something else is happening right now, which is in the Bible? The nations of the earth are breaking up into regional powers, just as the Bible declares. We're seeing America is the dominant superpower in the world, being challenged by China combined with Russia. They know you're not the number one power. This is not a unipower world. This is a multipolar world. We are going to be here and you're going to recognize us as a power. You're not going to be ruling over us. You're not going to be hegemonic power, dominant power. You're going to have to recognize that we are on this side and you're going to have to deal with us and leave us alone. You're not going to sanction us and whip us and treat us like little whipping boys. And you're going to hear a word that I'm going to use declared by a president. And they say we are not going to be that word. Now, let's read. French President Macron, after his China visit, shocked the North Atlantic Treaty Organization alliance with these statements. This is from the Guardian News on April 10th, 23. We don't want to be U.S. vassal states, V-A-S-S-A-L states, always following the USA. And you do what you want, and we got to follow you. You lead, we follow. Anything you want to do, we have to follow you. What does it mean, a vassal? V-A-S-S-A-L. Vassal means a servant, or it means slave. We don't want to be your servants, and we don't want to be your slaves. That's what Prime Minister, our President Macron said, President of France. Emmanuel Macron has flown into a storm of criticism after he said Europe should not become a vassal and must avoid being drawn into any conflict between the U.S. and China over Taiwan. End of quote. So he is saying we must not become servants and slaves. Everybody seems to be criticizing him. America is heaping criticism on him, and those who are in favor of America in Europe are heaping criticism on him, but people are beginning to listen. It goes on, the French president made the remarks in an interview on his plane after a 3-day state visit to China, where he received a red carpet welcome by China's president, Xi Jinping, a show of pageantry that alarmed some European China watchers. And speaking to reporters from Les Echos and Politico, Macron said, and I'm quoting, Europe should be a third power in the world order. Whoa. Europe should be a third power in the world order. So in other words, power number 1, power number 2, power number 3. America number 1, stay on your side. China, Russia number 2, stay on those sides. Europe number 3, combine together, staying on our side. This is what the man said. In other words, let's divide the world in blocks, spheres of influence, just as the Bible said. It's coming to fulfillment. I bet you never heard this with anybody else telling you this, right? Okay. So Macron said Europe should be a third power in the world order, along with the U.S. and China. While the comments reaffirmed Macron's long-term goal of strategic autonomy. Let's hold that word, strategic autonomy. For Europe, namely avoiding military and economic dependencies. His remarks on Taiwan stoked anger and alarm on both sides of the Atlantic. So, what is happening? Europe is waking up. God is waking them up. Strategic autonomy, meaning automatic, we do our thing, you do your thing separate from us. We're not going to follow you and serve you and be a slave to you. We're not going to be vassals to you. We're going to be autonomous. We're going to be independent of America. We're going to be independent of NATO. There will be no more NATO. Europe will be doing their things. What's happening? You're seeing the U.S. madness. You're seeing American what? Madness. They're seeing American immoralities. They're seeing American delusions. And you're having second thoughts about following America. We cannot follow you. You've gone off the charts. You're transgendering your little babies. Drag time story hours. You're leading us down the sewer. People are waking up. So they're looking and saying there must be three powers in the world today. One, Russia, China, America, and Europe must be the third power. We want our own thing. Where in the Bible is that found? Revelation 17, verse 3, it says, He carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting upon a scarlet-colored beast, and the woman is full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So this woman, Mystery Babylon, she was having 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 continents, 10 powers. She had them. She ruled over them. No one dissented from her. But now something has happened. There is a breakup. Verse 12, Revelation 17 says, And the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So you have 10 kingdoms, no king. So the 10 kings are waking up. They're looking at this person, this woman, who had the 7 heads and 10 horns, and say, we don't want to follow you. She had 7 heads, 7 continents, 10 powers. And they're waking up and say, we don't want to follow you anymore. Mystery Babylon, we don't want to follow you anymore. And the 10 horns which you saw upon the beast, ye shall hate the whore. They're going to hate the woman. The 10 powers are going to hate the woman, and shall make her wasted and naked, and they shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So the 10 powers of the world are going to be coming to hate who? Babylon. Who? America. And what are they going to do? They're going to make her wasted, desolate. They're going to make her naked. They will eat up her flesh, and they'll burn her with fire. So all 10 powers, the 10 regions of the world, is coming to hate America. And they are going to burn America with fire. They're going to rise up against America, one by one. And this is what's happened. The Great Awakening is occurring right now, right before your very eyes. Now, most people don't understand that, they don't realize this, but guess what? Guess what? It's in the Bible, and it's coming to pass right before our very eyes. Now, if God doesn't reveal this to you, you wouldn't know it, because people are so busy going about their everyday affairs. They don't know what's going on. But listen, God has the answer. He has the solution. He is doing his thing, and everything is coming along just as he prophesied. I want to catch you later tonight at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., same number, same time. I want to explain some more to you and teach you. Bible Code 7, Strategy of Spiritual Warfare. I want you to go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Get my last book. So many revelations in there. Shocking Revelation of Mystery Babylon. You ought to get that book. Do yourself a favor. Tell your friends about it. Put it on your chat group. Shocking Revelations of Mystery Babylon through Bible Code 7. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May he make his face to shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord God lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you his peace both now until Jesus returns. Have an awesome, amazing day. We'll catch you again tonight, 8 o'clock. God bless.